Hey y'all, welcome to Geek Freaks. I am Frank and I'm with Squeaks.
Squeaks!
And Daniel.
Hola.
And before we get too far, I wanted to talk about our Audible sponsorship. We talked about that last week. We do have a new sponsor, Audible. We planned on pushing the first ad out this week. We're holding that off till next week. We still have to finish up some paperwork stuff. But I do have our first book, so I don't think I talked to you guys about it yet, but you guys can sign up for Audible. You use our name or through the link, and then it helps support the podcast. And you guys can listen to listen to a book each month. I'm gonna pick a book. Well, one of us will pick a book that we all listen to, and then we'll talk about it in one of the episodes. The first book I already have in mind is a good one that actually I've been meaning to read anyways for podcast reasons. It's gonna be about like how to understand comics and stuff like that, and like panel layout and all that fancy stuff. So, but yeah, that's all going to be pushed back to next week. We're just still finishing some things up. So don't sign up for Audible yet. Wait till you put in Geek Freaks.
What's our name for the future? How do they use our name for it?
That's what we're trying to figure out. So
okay.
I don't want it to be just where you click a link. I want you to actually enter Geek Freaks. And so I'm working on that with them. So it's a back and forth. They're Amazon owns Audible, so it's kind of like, excuse me guys, can we do it this way, please? But yeah, we're getting there. Do you guys have any books that you would want to read? You've been kind of holding off on? Or, by the way, it's listened to. Who are we kidding? But,
shoot. I could, Audible wise? No. Well, I guess you could get it for Audible. I just finished Blood Air. It was kind of like that whole feeling of like the Avatar Last Bender. I just finished it. Definitely a cliffhanger because she already announced that number 2 is already coming out this fall. I thought it was good though. It was really gruesome in the beginning, so that's what hooked me. But right now I'm reading Star Wars. Oh God, something to do with the new Star Wars land
Aftermath
in Disneyland.
Oh no.
I forgot what it's called.
Galaxy's Edge, something like that.
Yeah, it's in the Galaxy's Edge line, but it's called something else. But anyway, Crash of Fate or something, I think.
Yeah.
And so I just started that right now, and I really like how they're expanding a universe about a land in Disneyland. So I'm super interested in that. They have a lot to just go off of it because it's so new and fresh, and there's no story in that world anyway.
Yeah, might as well. So, what about you, Daniel? Is there anything you've been needing to read?
Right now, Sword Art Online Progressive. I've been saying that I'm gonna keep reading it, or I'm gonna finish the first book. Mm-hmm. Haven't. I still need to and want to, so I need to check and see if Audible has it.
Oh, I'm sure they do. That's a really good one too, because it's basically like the first half of the first season, right? The book version.
Yeah.
That's the best part, in my opinion.
It's just more detail.
Okay, I'll be reading that then for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into some news, guys, real quick. We're going to start things off with some news from The Last of Us Part 2. You guys are both playing it and going to give us a review at the end of this. It's now the fastest selling PS4 exclusive title ever. Has sold 4 million copies in the first few days. Is it worth, I don't want to get into the review part of it, but do you think it should be the fastest selling game? Is it like the best game you guys are playing on the PS4?
Best game of the PS4? Yes and no. It's definitely worth the money.
Yeah.
I had fun beating it. But there are things that make me rage and want to break my PlayStation after I beat it at 3 a.m. Yeah. But really good game. Really good game. Really worth it. Graphics are really good. Not as good as like Death Stranding, like visual on character models. Because I know Death Stranding does they did a different way to capture the characters into the game. But it was still really good and really fun game to play.
Yeah.
Real quick, it's definitely worth the $60. Like I wouldn't wait for it to go on sale. Like just go out and buy the game right now. I think, and I told this to people before, I think this is one of the best storytelling video games that's ever been made. For sure.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you're not even towards the end where Daniel kind of broke in some information. And it's amazing. But yeah, so 4 million already. That's great. Next little bit of news. So we're kind of going over some of these real quick ones in the beginning because this is stuff that just popped up today. The next thing is we have brand new Twitter accounts made. They're just called placeholder, but the the actual address for them, one is Fable, the other one is Perfect Dark Game. And what's interesting about these, they have one follower, and one of the followers is, what is it? It's a Microsoft employee, and the other one is registered to a Microsoft email address. So these could be actually the little placeholders for future games, Twitter accounts. Would you guys be excited for either a new Fable game or a Perfect Dark game?
For sure, Fable, hands down. I think what
sure,
Xbox
Fable.
needs to do, they need to start pumping out these exclusives that everybody loves. There's no reason for them not to have a Fable 4 by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Fable. Perfect Dark. That's kind of funny that I just recently played one of them on that rare replay.
Yeah.
So it'd be kind of neat to revisit one of those in the modern day technology video games. Mostly Fable though. Excited for that one.
Would you want for Daniel? Would you want a Fable 4 or would you want a Fable reboot?
Fable. Ooh, probably Fable. I would want both actually.
Yeah, why not?
I'd love to play both.
Xbox
I played
needs
the first
exclusives.
one. Never actually beat the first one, but I did play a lot of it. Then I just fell off the game and played a little bit second one, but that was pretty much it.
Yeah,
if they make a Fable
so
remastered, if they make a Fable remastered, then a Fable 4 is coming. Like to give everybody a real quick, hey, this is what happened in the other games.
That first Fable game is almost a perfect RPG, so I would totally be down for a remaster of that. That'd be excellent. And then Perfect Dark was the sequel basically to 007 GoldenEye. With that kind of care put into a current gen system, next gen system, I'm totally down.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we have a new patent that Sony filed. It's for a possible multi-screen feature for the PS5. Basically what this is, you guys remember back in the 90s, they had that picture-in-picture? You guys remember that? It was like really cool. Am I the only old one that remembers that?
No, I don't remember any.
Yeah, what is that?
Man, when that came out, it was like, this is the future. You could be watching football and soap operas at the same time. So what it is
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you have your screen, right, where you're watching football. And then in the corner, you could be having something else going on, like you have Netflix streaming in the little corner box. Well, at the time, it was just another TV station, Channel 4, whatever. It was picture-in-picture, or they call it PIP. PlayStation now has a patent they just did that's basically doing this again. The idea is you're playing a shooter, and it's Fortnite and you're doing duos. You could have your partner's stream in the other little picture so you can watch what he's seeing. You could also set it up to where, I'm playing an RPG. It's one of those real long games, playing Red Dead. In that corner, you could be watching Netflix. Something like that. You can also control your audio. There's two different versions of the patent that are in two different images they show. One where it's a full screen of the main screen, and then the other one they call subscreen that's in the corner. The other one is a subscreen on the side with a feed underneath it, which shows that could be like a Twitch chat or maybe your Discord. You know what I'm saying? Okay. What kind of uses would you guys have for this? The Squeaks, let's start with you.
Damn. So actually I wouldn't. I just see, that's what I was gonna ask you or Daniel, because I don't ever see myself doing a duo screen like that.
Oh, Daniel, I know you're gonna use it, man.
I would definitely use it probably for like YouTube, watching like Undisputed, my subscriptions, or actually watching my Twitch followers, not Twitch followers. People I watch.
The people you follow on Twitch. Yeah.
How wouldn't you feel distracted while you're playing a game yourself?
Not really. Yeah. Because think about how we game now on the PCs. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm always listening to a podcast. I've got a TV right next to me while I'm on the computer. That's I'll put like Netflix on and game. And I usually am editing the podcast or something like that. Like I've got multiple things going on. This seems perfect, right up my alley. I cannot wait to binge some. Like, it's great when you got like watching The Office on Netflix, something that you don't necessarily need to see something new, but you want it in the background. I mean, that's perfect. So
that's cool. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm easily distracted then, because I'm not like you guys. I'm like,
I gotta
just take away from
guys.
the video game.
Oh man, so you haven't been focused. That's why you don't have the Last of Us beat yet.
Oh my god.
Yeah, definitely.
You're probably gonna hear that a couple more times.
Hey, maybe you should put that back on
right
easy mode.
Dan has a boner right now. Dan has a boner right now because you're talking shit on me not beating it right now. He's like, oh my god, Frankie just turned me on.
The last bit of the quick news is The Boys. It'll be releasing September 4th and going till October 9th. So they're actually doing the weekly format now instead of just releasing all episodes at once. I'm personally not a big fan of this. I like to be able to just binge my show and be done with it.
Yeah.
This kind of just drags it out. What do you think, Daniel?
I just want all the episodes so I could just binge watch it, stay up till like 4 a.m, and then like, I don't know, go to bed happy or freaking just be upset and not be able to fall asleep.
Usually just not go to bed.
Yeah. But usually I just like them all coming out. Like usually Netflix does it. It was nice to watch like The Witcher and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a little disappointed. But I probably not go. I'm not sure if I'm going to get into it right away. Wasn't really too happy of The Boys on the first season. I know everybody loved it. I didn't really care for it too much. It was still a good show. I just didn't like that kind of portray on superheroes.
Yeah.
They're kind of like villains or just people. It kind of.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think, Squeaks?
Business-wise for Hulu, it makes sense to try to keep people's subscription longer.
It's Amazon
That's
Prime,
where it is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Amazon. Sorry.
But yeah,
Damn, it's squeaky.
But same thing though.
As in not Netflix.
But yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I'm not a big fan of it because I do like to watch at least a couple episodes. I could go up to like 3, depending on how long each episode is. But yeah, the only benefit as a consumer is that I watch one episode and then continue other things that I'm watching. Other than that, if I'm not watching anything, then it's like, oh, I wish The Boys episode 2 was on right now.
Yeah,
that is that is a good point though, because when I watched The Boys, I had a 2-week free trial of Prime. So I mean, honestly, that is smart. It's a smart idea.
It's definitely a business thing, yeah, for sure.
So the way you'll have to do it, Squeaks, or Daniel, when you fire up the trial again, is you fire it up on the last week of the show so that you can binge the old episodes. Yeah.
They're gonna be late.
So The Mandalorian came out in a weekly format, and it actually had me excited for Fridays when The Mandalorian would come out, which has been a long time since that was a thing. Like Survivor's the only thing I think that does that to me anymore nowadays.
Yeah.
So as long as it's not commonplace, I'm happy with that, because there are times where, like, look, the new Stranger Things is out. My weekend's planned. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. So we'll see how, I think it's actually going to kind of become common again. It's something that it as long as you could drag it past the 1 month mark, then you've got 2 months at least from the people watching the show. So that's crazy for them not to do that. All right, next up we have a new champ joining Smash Brothers. This is Min Min. Did you guys watch the trailer announcing Min Min on Smash Brothers?
No, but I've heard all the excitement around
details.
It. Juicy details, yeah. You guys aren't big on Smash Brothers right now, right? I'm kind of dormant on it myself.
Right now, no. I haven't been playing for a while, but then again, I just got my Switch back, so yeah.
That's true. You just had your argument with. Well, you got a new Switch, right? So it's because I think we talked about that. Yeah.
With So I'll turn on Smash and I have completely like no roster, just like the 6 people you start off with.
Oh, I thought that game was okay. No, that too. You erased everything. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm not really a big fan of jumping into Smash right now.
Yeah. No doubt. So if you guys aren't familiar with the ARMS franchise, it's this thing where they have the extendable arms and it's like a boxing game. Min Min has these dragon hands. They are able to change out with like a gun and stuff like that. She can use the dragon claws to grab onto the stage when she's falling off and rebound herself. She also uses them to shoot fire in a certain area. So she has like ranged hits, which she's able to punch, and she like empowers her punch, so that does a lot of damage. But she's also able to like blow fire and kind of keep her distance. I think she's going to be zoning a lot, pushing people to one side of the map and keeping her corner safe. And then she's able to counter ranged attacks with a backflip. So she's really able to kind of lock down the spot, and then you have to approach her, and then she's going to be able to set you up. I think she's actually going to be pretty powerful. What do you guys think about a champ that does that has that kind of range on it? Daniel, what are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, not really a big fan of that champ. It doesn't even sound fun.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of broken, especially if you're playing the king. What's the crocodile? God damn it, King.
King Dedede. King Dedede.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
I think that sounds like the Kirby one, but yeah.
Oh, then that's the Kirby guy. Yeah, crocodile.
Is it?
It's a crocodile.
Oh my god, we are losing all geek cred right now.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I only play it when I'm playing with you guys.
You guys are on The Last of Us right now. That's what it is. I mean, and I'm on Satisfactory. Like, our brains are just locked up. So it's hard to think about Nintendo.
Okay, I got this.
Yeah. I'm a bigger fan of like the faster moving champs. So this one she looks so slow and lumbering. I was not too excited about it.
King K. King.
But
King Cruel.
Yeah. King. Yeah.
I feel like most of the characters in Smash are like pretty slow paced.
Well, if you think of like, Martha and stuff like that, they have fast champs. It basically boils down to, but near 50-50, I would assume, of the fast versus the slow. You got Star Fox and everything like that.
Yeah, I think there's a balance for sure, because I play as Zero Suit Samus, but if I need a bigger, tankier type of player, I'll go with Ridley. So
DK is my slow slugger. I just wasn't too excited about it. Honestly, it's not a franchise I care about either. Have you played any? I know you're a big Switch guy over there. Have you played any ARMS at all?
No, actually, I have not ever. I thought about getting it because I really liked how Splatoon, and
Yeah.
that's what me giving a chance on the new IP that they had, and I was really interested because I know they had like the interchangeable arms, and you could power up your character because your arms you could take them off and put different ones on, I guess.
Right. Right.
But I never got into it, and I think because a lot of it was that they were selling it as one where you could use the controllers like a Wii U or a
Yeah, I
Wii.
know. Yeah, were
Yeah,
you able to like motion control?
yeah, and I think you don't have to, but they were selling that so much and trying to make it like an actual sport that I just
Yeah.
like, look, I don't want to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning and move my arms around. I just want to punch
Yeah.
people without that.
I
So
need to
that's
just hit
what,
A and B. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, and that's what lost my interest. So I never really touched it yet.
Yeah, I've been avoiding it as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one, Daniel. This one, man, is right up your alley. It's Pokemon Unite. This is a new MOBA game with Pokemon champions. It's played on the mobile and the Switch, which was what worries me. But it's developed by Tencent. Now they're the ones that make. They own Riot Games that make League of Legends,
Yeah.
and so from what you watch in the trailer, it's essentially just these 5-on-5 matches. It's very similar to League of Legends. Would you want to play a League of Legends that has these Pokemon characters?
No, that doesn't. Honestly, no, it doesn't even sound fun. I'm
Oh,
wondering.
I don't think I'm gonna delay that edit out. I'm not gonna edit that delay out. That was
Keep it.
fucking hilarious.
Honestly, a MOBA that Pokemon.
Uh,
I'm like, I mean, it's possible.
You're so tripped up.
I mean, they each have abilities, so I could kind of see it. But I feel like it would be more for like a little kid to play.
Well, yeah. So I think it's good entry level MOBA, especially the fact that it's gonna be on the Switch and mobile. It's not on PC, so you'd have to use an emulator for the PC. I think it's gonna be a good entry level one. But with Tencent behind it, and them really knowing this market, I think it. I mean, they know mobile games for sure. I think it has a chance to be a success. They showed a Charmander that was really cool. That's kind of good.
So?
yeah,
I think it's gonna be successful.
Yeah, I was watching that announced trailer, and I think what it is, the Pokemon evolve in the game as you progress and level up your character. So pretty much like you and League of Legends where you get like a different ability.
Yeah,
it feels like
every level.
Certain levels. Your Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard, and using the abilities and like their ults are really neat. But I'm not really getting the concept of the game. So you defeat Pokemon, you catch them, and then you bring them back to a circle. So it has that Heroes of the Storm feel, where it's more of objective. But I'm not. It feels like your circle always back at your base. So where's the real threat at? Do you meet kind of like on one end more of the map instead of the middle?
Well, if the balancing is right, then it's gonna make it to where because it's 5-on-5, so you have to 2v2 or 2v3, and so I think it's gonna be that. It's gonna be balancing which way because you want to be able to outnumber the other guys, be able to catch them, and then bring them back. So I think it's all about balancing. I think Daniel was right in the fact that this is gonna be kind of a starter mode for the kids because League of Legends has this, but up to 11. This is gonna be kind of like I'm outnumbered. Let me back up. When in League of Legends, you're running the numbers so much faster.
Do we know if this is free? That's one thing too.
It will be free. Yeah, it's free to play. Okay. Yeah, there's no release date yet, but it is free to play. So it's gonna have its skins and everything like that, much like League of Legends.
Honestly, it doesn't sound exciting to play at all.
Yeah, especially for somebody who's already a mobile player, it might not be.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely gonna play it for sure and try it out.
You
did you see how many people are hating on this right now? If you look on YouTube, they have like 1,000 more dislikes than they do likes right now.
Yeah, that magic ratio. If you have more dislikes than likes, then you know that okay, we're in for a big fight. It's going to be review bombed. It's like already hated by the internet. So
true.
Yeah. It sucks.
I'm waiting for that. I mean, even though the last Pokemon was semi-open world, I'm waiting for a real legit open world MMO Pokemon game.
You should play World of Warcraft, catch pets. It's out there. It's a good gold maker. All right, here's the next game. I know none of us play it. It's called Stalker Online. Have you guys heard of that game?
Yeah, 3 seconds ago.
3 seconds ago. Yeah, that's no. You're on top of it. But yeah, so it's kind of like it feels like a World War Z kind of game. Not World War Z. I'm sorry. What was that one that me used to play, Daniel? Daisy or something like that, right?
Daisy.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's Daisy.
Okay, it looks like one of those. It's really big in Russia and Eastern Europe. It's developed out in Australia. It's an MMORPG, post-apocalyptic, And anyway, so if you guys are a fan of this game, if you're a player of this game, you've played it before, check your account. So what happened was they had this big cyber attack. The game has more than 1.2 million users. All of their information has been stolen now from a hacker. Their logins, phone numbers, email addresses, and IP addresses. The information is taken from both the game itself and the forums. So if you're just visiting the site and whatever chatting, which whatever's there too. So what do you guys do if somebody gets all your gaming information? You're gonna change your logins? I mean,
you would have to, right? I mean, yeah, I think it was like other games that you put in so many hours in, and they're just wasted somehow because some dick asshole went in to steal your shit. Yeah. My thing is, this game looks horrible. Like,
yeah,
why are people even playing this game? This game looks like shit. It's like, oh my god.
There's a lot of games like that people like to play.
Yeah, like Arma and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's bigger in different places. It's not, I mean, definitely not big here, but in different countries and stuff, it's definitely going to be big.
Yeah, like DayZ did not look great. It was a fantastic game. Even PUBG. PUBG technically doesn't look that great compared to current games, but I mean, it's a fantastic game. It's kind of like PUBG look a little bit, just a little bit downgrade from that. This was done by the famous hacker. He's a hacker for hire, so Instakiller. So there's actually a guy that people hire to do some hacks for you, whatever, like DDoS video game releases and stuff like that. So there's no information on whether or not he was actually hired for this job or just wanted to go out and do it himself. What we do know is that when he gained access by penetrating the Stalker Online homepage, and then he put up a new image saying, basically, it's just like, you guys suck at social or cybersecurity. If you want help, let me know. Otherwise, I'm posting everybody's data online. And he wanted like X amount of millions. They haven't said how much he wanted, but it's quite a bit. Big World, which is the Australian company that runs Stalker Online, they have not commented on anything. But if you guys do have an account with them, change your password because it's all up in the air right now. And they haven't commented anything, so that means they're not going to pay. So that means your information is going to be out there, which sucks. Especially when they can tie your email to your IP address. That's where you're at, So it's too bad.
Damn. Yeah.
Has there been any games that you guys have played where that's happened? Like something, because I go back to World of Warcraft. We always had a problem with like our accounts getting hacked. But is there any game that had such a huge hack like this?
Man, I can't think of anything that I've played that had a huge hack. Besides World of Warcraft with just the attacks on it, but
every new expansion, somebody's being a DDoS asshole. Yeah.
Like League and pretty much Activision. Call of Duty always has DDoSing and stuff, but nothing that big because we usually play bigger games that have a bigger, pretty much like firewall that helps us in a way. Something like that. I'm not really sure. Anything else?
Yeah, I can't think of a big one that I played that's been attacked like that.
The games that are at this level that we do play actually go through like Steam and stuff like that, so there's probably a level of protection. When this game you actually download straight from the webpage. So, the launcher might be helping you too.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a huge, crazy announcement this week. Mixer is shutting down completely. For you guys who don't know, Mixer was a big streaming platform, much like Twitch and YouTube to a degree, but now it's closing down. Have you guys watched Mixer at all? Daniel, you're the big stream watcher. Have you checked out Mixer? I
have checked out Mixer. I've watched a couple of people like Shroud who switched over.
Got paid big to do that.
I don't like their platform. I think it's more that I'm used to Twitch.
Yeah.
Using Twitch's platform that I feel like it's just too much to go to Mixer just for Shroud. Yeah. And I kind of feel bad for those guys that put all their hard work into Mixer to make their platform, to make their pretty much income. Then all of a sudden it's like, all right, you guys are getting shut down. It's kind of, it sucks because a lot of people went to Mixer. It's not just like, oh, I'll just go to Twitch, because when Shroud switched over to Mixer, not everybody followed him. He doesn't get those same viewers. So it's kind of disappointing for those people aren't going to get the same amount of viewers.
See, because
they should.
I was looking at Shroud and Ninja, right? Because those guys both, like, we know Ninja got paid $50 million to move over to Mixer, right?
Yeah.
So now that he's a free agent, it's not like he has to give any of that money back. He just got $50 million for about 6 months of work, and then he can move back to Twitch. But he did lose. I mean, there's no way he took everybody from Twitch with him. That's just impossible. Twitch is too established. So there is that. I didn't think about the whole rebuilding aspect these guys have to do now. And I mean, they're big names, but there are a lot of other people that are not necessarily big names that have to basically start from the beginning. They're not affiliated anymore and stuff like that. That sucks.
And a lot of them play on like Xbox too and stuff. That Xbox, because you could just, my buddy would stream Madden games off Mixer.
Yeah.
So I could watch him play. And then just like that, you're going to have to do a lot more just to get on Twitch streaming for your Xbox. So, well, with the new consoles, I believe it should be a lot easier, correct? That coming out, it's supposed to be easier to stream.
They're leaning on the streaming thing. Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, for Shroud and Ninja, they made money. But other people that work there hard, you know, just to get their platform big enough to make some income so they could actually do this for a living, and then all of a sudden it gets shut down. It's honestly disappointing for them. I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
They just lost jobs.
So suddenly, too. It was out of nowhere. Just one day you wake up and it's like, oh, okay, my livelihood's done. So, yeah, starting immediately, all Mixer partners and streamers will be moved over to Facebook Gaming, with Mixer fully shutting down on July 22nd. Facebook Gaming, we talked about in the past. That worries me. So there's no way they're going to have even as much views as they have on Mixer, because Facebook Gaming, the app, we were talked about it when we were reviewing it with Cheddar was reviewing, is that, I can't get on my iPhone. The reason is because Facebook's not budging in the negotiations with Apple. Apple says, if you guys buy a game, it's through our app store. It's simple as that. Facebook wants to sell their own games. They want to sell games through their own app and then keep the profits. Apple's saying no. They've applied 5 times now to be able to be accepted to the app store. And they continue to just say, look, this is the deal. We want to sell games. And Apple's like, no, we just don't do that. So now if you're like, okay, cool, I'll go with the Facebook Gaming app. They're going to help me move over, yada, yada, yada. You're going to go and you're not going to be able to bring probably about half your viewers that watch on iPhones. I mean, what do you do? So let me just kind of explain this real quick. I went on a Mixer because I was like, let me check out what everybody said. Every streamer I saw said, join me on Twitch. They had their new Twitch addresses and stuff like that. Nobody was saying they're going to Facebook Gaming. So that just shows you right there how powerful Facebook Gaming is and how people are used to Twitch. Do you see a lot of people actually making the switch over to Facebook, or are they just going to be going over to Twitch again?
I see the people that are banned from YouTube or Twitch going over there, but I feel like most people are going to be just going back to Twitch just because you get a lot more viewers there than you'll ever get on Facebook or whatever, YouTube.
That was a good point there as well. There are a lot of people, especially right now, that are getting banned on Twitch, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of that later on. But like Dr. Disrespect and stuff like that, some of these big guys are getting banned on Twitch because they're really laying down the hammer for hate speech and stuff. So yeah, maybe Facebook Gaming is your only option, and I highly doubt Facebook's going to care about that kind of thing. But so that leaves us with, we have Amazon's Twitch, all these big companies that own so there's Amazon that owns Twitch, Google owns the YouTube one. Facebook owns, of course, Facebook Gaming. There's also this new one that Tencent came out with. I was actually streaming on yesterday. We were the number 1 satisfactory streamer because it's so small. Called Trovo. So check out, or Trovo. It's called Trovo. Check out Trovo if you guys want to. The top streamer had 35 views. It's so small. Wow. But it's only been out for about a month, and the layout is clean. It's actually it looks a lot like Twitch, but with just some perks that you're like, oh yeah, I didn't think about how I wanted this. But yeah, it's a pretty clean layout. Have you heard of Trovo before, Daniel?
No, never actually heard of it.
Yeah, it's like in the baby stages.
Yeah, I've only heard of pretty much Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube streaming. That's the main ones.
Yeah, I'm literally the only person on the platform that streams Satisfactory. So it's scored. That's great. Yeah. I get 100% of the audience. Okay, let's move on to the next thing here. We have more bad news from Microsoft. They're closing their stores. They had these retail stores that was kind of like the Apple store in looks and stuff like that. Microsoft announced on the June 26th, they're going to be closing all 82 locations, but they're going to change 4 locations into these Microsoft Experience Centers. I'm thinking it's kind of like the M&M store where you just go in and it's like, oh, it's neat in here. Have any of you guys, I think Squeaks you have, has anybody been to a Microsoft store?
Yeah, I have. I've been to one in Texas and the one where we have here in California close to the Bay Area. And they're pretty much set up like an Apple store, to be honest. So I always enjoy to walk in there. I remember I went to one Microsoft store in the Bay Area when the Halo 3 was released, so they did a big
Yeah.
party for it. And then they had this huge, like multiple TV setup on one wall to make one big ass screen, and they hooked up an Xbox to it, and we just started playing all Halo 2 matches.
Yeah.
I mean, they're neat. It's just like an Apple Store set up with a little bit more to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the idea. I know there was PlayStation stores in Portugal, and I thought that was amazing. And I like that idea of like a place you can go to and kind of learn more about the system you're buying or asking questions. It's kind of like GameStop, but it's even more tailor made to the system you're already a fan of. But nowadays, man, just retail doesn't seem to work out too well. These little retail stores, even GameStop's struggling. So the excuse that David Porter, he's the VP over at Microsoft, he explains that during the stay-at-home orders, they learned that their employees are just as effective at home as they are in the workplace, and they're doing more digital sales than retail sales anyways. So the brick and mortar business isn't really profitable. So I'm very happy they're doing this. What they're doing is they're taking all of the retail employees and they're moving them into sales and customer service at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, isn't that great? Like that's a cool move. If your company's going out of business, see if you can move them at home work. Yeah. Now with COVID, could we see that like be a thing in the future? Like layoffs come in phases like that.
Yeah, I think so. If they know, like, if they have a real game plan, obviously a lot of businesses are probably scared to just lay everyone off right away with no work at all. So if they have a smarter way to do it and be profitable, then definitely. As a consumer, like I'm a huge online shopper, no doubt about it. My life is Amazon basically, but I do like that instant gratification. So I do like to.
Totally.
I mean, if I live next to one of these Microsoft stores, then hell yeah, I want to go and visit one.
Yeah.
But I think it's something to look forward to if I'm ever, I guess, in New York. Because seeing the Nintendo store, and they only have like 2 of them, I think. It is like pretty much an experience. It's awesome. Like big statues of Donkey Kong and Mario and Luigi and Toad everywhere, and they have sections of different games. That was awesome to see. So if this is what the Microsoft store is going to do, then I mean, props to them, I guess. It's just unfortunate that we won't be living next to one.
Yeah. If you live in Sydney, New York City, London, or their campus in Redmond, Washington, that's where they're going to put the Microsoft Experience Centers. Otherwise, yeah, you're just out of it. They did look nice from all the images. They definitely look like that Apple store, real clean and bright.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
I would hope to be like double the size too. I mean,
we have like an Apple store over here in Arden Mall, and when I used to have an iPhone, I hated going to that store. Like I don't know, like I don't know if it's just me, but I don't get excited to go to that store. Like I know I'm not talking about the center, but maybe Microsoft was a little bit different, but like stores like that, it's like I could just go to Best Buy, look at all this stuff, or YouTube, all these tablets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and you know what though? Like with the Apple Store, it's like, look, buddy, I'm actually gonna buy something. So stop helping these 10 other people that are just here to look at the Apple Watch. That pisses me off too.
That's true. Yeah, the Apple stores are usually in malls and stuff like that. That's where they get a lot of foot traffic, which is, I'm sure good for them. They have a lot of people just kind of browsing and getting some attention to their products. But I need a charger. Like, just give me the charger and I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Best Buy's awesome. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Those watching the YouTube version, I keep looking over the second monitor to see you guys. So it's not very entertaining to watch the side of my face the whole time while I'm looking at you guys on the second monitor.
Hey, speaking of Best Buy though, do you see Fry's going out of business soon? Because when I go to the store, it's really empty.
Could it be just because of the situation?
No, this was pre-situation.
They've been doing it. They've been empty since I think last year on July or something like that. Like
I think they really need to downsize. I don't think they need all that room, to be honest.
That's true. Especially
downsize, make it look like you're packed and you have inventory. Because right now, I go to the one in Roseville, and it's just like a whole half of the. I want to say mall because it's so big, but half the store is just empty. It's like, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah, all of them are like that. There's actually a guy that did a YouTube video on how empty Fry's are across the U.S. and they're. I don't know, like the employees aren't allowed to talk about it or something like that, but it's been going on for a while. I know I heard that most of the stuff is in one of the places, I can't remember, but Vegas, something like that. I can't remember, but yeah, they've been empty for a while. And last time when I was gonna build my PC, I went over there. They only had 3 processors, and like graphics cards they barely had any motherboards, barely any DDR4. Like it was actually they didn't have any. They didn't have any memory.
That's insane. Usually there's like a whole wall of just like every piece of memory you could want. It's beautiful, you know?
Yeah,
that's sad.
They didn't really have monitors. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Squeaky.
No, I was just going to say, because me and Frank went to the one in Roseville to get my computer. But literally, if we went on the other side of the store, I don't know how it was then, but I went after. If we went on the other side of the store, it's completely empty. Just shelves that are just nothing on it.
It's weird.
It's crazy.
They must be, so they're either downsizing or they're changing because one thing I can't imagine doing very well for them, or maybe they're leaning into really, is all the office furniture, stuff like that, or the movies. Like there's no way you need a movie section anymore, right? Unless you're doing like vinyl collectible kind of things, like, oh, the collector's edition of Avengers is out. You don't need to have 32 copies of Avengers when everybody's going to just watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Could be something like that. Maybe they're just restructuring the stores. But to do all of them at once, that's pretty rough. Yeah, I really want that sort of stay in business.
It's been going on for, I mean, it's going to be like probably, 8 months now? Something like that.
Sad.
I mean, it's been going on for a while. I think last time me and Joe went, we're just like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Like, there was no point. Like, but I felt like, just go Best Buy.
Yeah.
Honestly, they had the better graphics card. They had good processors. So just
and the warranty's top notch. I love the warranty over there. We have a friend that works at Best Buy that we can get discounts through, but he never gets a hold of us. So hopefully Joe's alive. I'm always trying to get those discounts. Oh, man. Okay, let's go on to, now I'm thinking about how Fry's better not be closing down. If you guys hear, by the way, let's real quick. If you hear that Fry's is closing down, call me, not text, call, so I can get over there and get the sales.
Yeah. Okay? Oh, for sure.
I want the deals. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay, we have a rumored Batman and Suicide Squad game coming up. Now, these are from the Arkham world. These are both coming from Rocksteady. The Arkham world's awesome. It's beautiful. I'm assuming, Squeaks, I think you played it, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Daniel, did you get a chance to play any of the Arkham games?
Yeah, I got all 3 from the Epic Game Store.
Sweet. Oh, yeah, the Epic Game Store, they gave them all away.
Way to put the plug in for the Epic Store.
I love the Epic Store. So, yeah, this is going to be the next Batman in the series, so it's actually going to follow the same storyline in the same Arkham world. It's pretty similar. It's going to be awesome. We're all going to love it. The thing we want to talk about, though, is the Suicide Squad game, which is going to be a live service game similar to Destiny 2 or maybe like a Fortnite kind of thing. It would rely on microtransactions while being a free game. That's not great. And this is the third attempt they're trying at a Suicide Squad. They've tried to do this game where they're kind of making it like the other Batman games. It didn't pan out for them. This one, because it's a rotating cast inside the actual Suicide Squad, you can kind of like customize your character, make new characters, and join in. What are your thoughts on this, Daniel? Do you think a live service game in an Arkham world is feasible?
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, they did have the DC game. I already forgot the name of it, but it's
DC Universe.
DC Universe.
Yeah, DC Universe. So I could see it. I feel like it's gonna be pretty much like pay to fucking win. Get better stuff.
Oh man.
Yeah. It sounds fun though. It'd be cool to make your own little character. Try it out, especially if it's gonna be free. Will I spend money? No, I won't, because I probably won't stay on it too long. But it'd definitely be fun if we all try it.
I'm definitely gonna try it out. DC Universe was a lot of fun. I actually really liked that game. I've restarted it a few times where you kind of do those first few missions and stuff. But it's cool. Yeah, I can see that. And DC Universe is still live if you guys want to do that. It's actually free.
Yeah.
And they've actually just added the Birds of Prey in there, so they're constantly adding updates to it. It's pretty nice. But yeah, it's dated. Squeaks, what are your thoughts on that?
So you have me interested in like if it was a Suicide Squad Destiny style, because I would love to definitely be in the world of Arkham and more in the see like a grittier side of Gotham and maybe in the alleys and doing whatever. But then it's like, okay, are we teaming up and doing kind of like a little dungeon thing, kind of like Destiny? Because I really don't see. Are we villains? One of all? Are we like?
That's a biggie right there. Yeah. Are we? Yeah. I would assume so. You have to be villains if you're Suicide Squad. I mean, it's not fun being the nice guys.
Not every time. Yeah.
Yeah. True. I want to for sure. Here's the thing. If it's Grand Theft Auto and we're Suicide Squads and we're trying to rob banks, that would be amazing.
Yeah, because then that was my next thing. Like, how would the gameplay be uh, if it was like I'm gonna team up with you and Daniel and we're robbing a bank? Is it like Arkham fighting, which I don't see that happening for a multiplayer game? I don't know. I don't really get that part so much.
Right.
So I'm definitely interested in it. I would love to visit the world of Arkham in a more darker tone as a villain.
Yeah.
Instead of being Batman.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Microtransactions though. Hopefully it's just cosmetics and little shit like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's V-Bucks.
Yeah.
Freaking little pieces of crack. Just gotta get those V-Bucks. Speaking of Batman, we have Micheal Keaton in talks to return as Batman. For you guys that live under a rock, Micheal Keaton is the '89 Batman. It was that and Beetlejuice is what he was known for the majority of his career until Birdman came out. So this is Hollywood Reporter that reported this. He will be coming back in the Flash film. They're going to be doing a version of Flashpoint where it's multiple. What is that called? Multiple dimensions. That works. Multiple universes. So he would be from another universe, and then he's got to fix things, or whatever, and then come back, which is good. I actually wanted them to use the regular. Oh, it's Bruce's dad, but this doesn't seem like it'd be that way. The exciting thing. This could be a gateway to bringing us Batman Beyond into the DCEU, which the fans are clamoring for it because this is an older version of Batman. Are you guys cool with that? Do you guys want Micheal Keaton back? And if he comes back, how do you want him to be used? Daniel, let's start with you, man.
If Micheal Keaton's coming back, I kind of want him to be used as Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Let's get it.
Give him a cane like that Batman.
Let's get him Batman Beyond Batman. That would be awesome.
That would be great. Yeah, I would love to see Batman Beyond, and of course, it'd be crazy for that casting. Check to see what's going on with there. What are your thoughts with that, Squeaks?
I'm super excited. One, I think Micheal Keaton's fucking legendary.
Yes.
And two, those Batman films are some of my favorites of all time. With the mind behind Tim Burton, so I'm excited to see that for sure. Now, Ezra Miller's still attached to this?
Yeah. So far, he is.
Okay. I just know with that episode he had earlier. We were kind of curious on what his future would be with the Flash. I wonder how it would just feel. Flash walks into a different dimension and you see Micheal Keaton Batman. I wonder what that interaction is going to be like.
Well, in Justice League, and probably the Snyder Cut's going to explore this more, but in the Justice League movie, we did see him go back to warn Batman. So we know that there's a version of the Flash that's jumping around in time.
Okay.
Which is, that's the staple of Flash comics is that he jumps around in time. And so it wouldn't, and if you look at the series, he jumps around in dimensions all the time as well. Yeah. It wouldn't really be hard for him to do this. It's a way to get maybe Christian Bale to kind of wink in. Ooh, I can see your face, Squeaks.
Oh man, if we could just get a couple of different Batmans, just don't bring in George Clooney. Then that'd be pretty exciting. Kind of little
closes in on the nipples first, and then pans out as George Clooney.
That'd be neat. That would be a little fun thing for us Batman fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm definitely on board with Micheal Keaton. Anything he could. I don't care what he does. He could play a fucking penguin. I wouldn't give a shit. I'd still be all excited about it.
I'd watch that. Him as Vulture, it was so good. I didn't think.
Yeah.
Especially Vulture, he's one of those Spider-Man villains that I don't care about. And then when you have Keaton playing him, and you're like, am I rooting for Vulture? He's this guy who was laid off because of Iron Man. Screw Iron Man, Yeah. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I know he'll do good with this. What's that?
They did a pretty good job with Vulture. I was a little hesitant with the whole mechanical helmet and shit like that. But then I guess it would make sense to kind of be not the old-ass geezer with a big nose flying around with feathers.
That's not quite photogenic. But yeah. The Ezra thing, though, that surprises me. So we'll see if they're going to answer to that. I would be very surprised if they don't mention it at all. If WB doesn't come out and say, oh, it was all fake or something. Just something. Address it somehow. But, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, but we're still going to watch this even if they don't address it right.
It's
we're
a
on
shame.
That page.
It's a shame that most people watch it. Yeah. I don't know. The better part of me saying, no, I won't watch it. I'm going to protest it. Yeah. But the fact that we have a Geek podcast and we're just going to pass up on Flashpoint, my very favorite comic book storyline. I don't know. We'll see how things go. I wish they just recast Ezra. I want them to take Grant Gustin from the show. He's amazing at Flash. make him the new Flash. I'd be totally down for that.
Yeah,
great.
I'm actually not on board. I really don't give a shit about Ezra or the guy that playing the TV show. So
yeah,
it'd be kind of. I'd be okay if they just recast the character. Period.
Off the top of your head, anybody you want in particular?
Oh fuck.
Come on, you're gonna bring this up. You're not gonna be ready with somebody.
No. Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. Oh my god, he's not too old or anything like that.
Yeah, I know, right? I know he was too old. I'm like, oh shit, think of someone young.
Oh man. All right.
Then give me the guy. I love this fucking actor, and I can't think of his name. The guy that played the Elton John movie and Kingsman.
That guy is amazing. He might be the next Wolverine.
Oh.
I think Squeaks died. Somebody check on Squeaks. His camera must have froze. He just passed out.
I love that actor so much. I can't think of his name right now.
Kingsman is so good. He's amazing in Kingsman.
I was hoping he was the next Spider-Man, but then Tom Holland's doing a great job, so whatever. But I was actually rooting for him to be the next Spider-Man.
He's the number one contender right now for our next Wolverine. So
wow.
We'll see how it goes. All right. Next up, we have George R.R. Martin says the next book is coming out in 2021. I know this is like really good news for just a few of you guys. So he does this blog that you guys check out his blog. It's really good. It's called Not a Blog is the name of the thing.
But it's a blog.
He put out an article saying that the next book in A Song of Ice and Fire should be expected 2021. He's been staying home because of the COVID thing. He actually stays in a cabin in the woods to stay safe. So a quote from him is, "Yes, I'm in an actual cabin in the mountains. No, I have no fever. Yay. For the present, at least, I am healthy. For an out of shape guy at 71, at least, and doing all I can do to stay that way." So really good. If you're a fan of, the books and George himself, always worried about his health. He's getting up there, and he has, probably about 20 more years of books that he needs to finish the Game of Thrones storyline with his writing pace. So 71, we need him to live to 91. He doesn't look like he's going to get there, but we're all rooting for him. He's also working on the Game of Thrones spinoffs. He's actually helping writing 2 of them. He's working on the Dunk and Egg story, and he has this book, and then there's some little side projects that people are tapping him for, because he has a lot of other like sci-fi books out there. Because of Game of Thrones, they're all tapping him. He has another one here. He says, "If nothing else, the enforced isolation has helped me write. I am spending long hours every day on The Winds of Winter," which is the next book, and making steady progress. I finished a new chapter yesterday, another one 3 days ago, and another one the previous week. So he explains that the characters he's currently working on are Cersei Lannister, Tyrion Lannister, Sir Barristan Selmy, and Ora Hota. So Hota is book only, I believe. Barristan's already dead in the show by this point, where he's at right now. So if you guys love Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, this is your chance to jump back into it. And I'm just so excited for this. I know it's not that big of news for a lot of people, but it's really good to see that he's making good progress. He gets distracted way too easily. The dude's on vacation all the time. He's got that HBO money. God. It's like just somebody chain him to his desk. Great.
I was going to say because of all the work for the film, but apparently no, it's just vacation.
Yeah, you'll see him like, "Oh, I'm going to Hawaii to a conference," and then he's there for like 2 weeks. Like, bitch, that conference was for 2 days. What are you there for 2 weeks? But yeah. Next up, we have the Amazon's Lord of the Rings show. It's now casting. Okay, now we've been waiting for this. It's going to be really good. It's a lot of money they're throwing this thing. They're throwing in like the movie level amount of money into this. It's really good. Now, here's the casting call, and I've got an idea, okay? They said they're looking for funny-looking people. That's in quotes, funny-looking people. These are all literally from the casting call. They want facial burns, long, skinny limbs, acne scars, deep cheekbones, facial lines, missing bones, large eyes, and skinny faces. Look, I'm not skinny faces or anything like that, but funny-looking. I think, I think I can handle that. So here's my idea.
Where is this casting at? I'll help get you there.
Not just me. I think all 3 of us make a casting video, and then we get flights to New Zealand, and we could be on the Lord of the Rings series. It'd be great for the podcast. I'm just saying.
I was like, okay, that's funny, whatever. But then that one sentence where you said we could be in the Lord of the Rings series. Fuck, let's do it.
All right, so that's the deal, guys. We're gonna be making videos. I know Daniel's over there like, fuck this, but we're gonna make videos. explaining why we should be really good in Lord of the Rings and how big of fans we are and that we want to join. If the video turned out good, we'll throw it up on Instagram. So we'll see how that goes.
What? Yeah. What was it? Say? Do you have any ideas of the video?
I think, okay, so it'd be like, hi, I'm Frank. I think I'd be really, I love Lord of the Rings. And I think I'd be really good. And then you have to explain like the kind of character you can play. So I'll say like, I would love to be a dwarf. I've always been a big fan of drinking. And I could also be Hobbit. I can get the hairy feet implants.
Yeah.
If needed, I can voice a dragon and stuff like that. So things like that. And then we'll just go from there. Then maybe you'd be like, oh, look, I could be an elf. I'm real light on my feet. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So we'll just kind of explain who we can play. I will literally send these because I have the name of the casting company. I will send the videos to them. No joke.
I think we have to do a fight scene.
We're trying to stay safe at home. We're doing this and you're like, let's get together to make a fight scene.
We have to. I want the 2 tower quality.
Well, if you could do like that old kid that used to do the lightsaber Star Wars old YouTube video where he's like doing flips in his garage. If you could do that with a fake sword, I'm sending that in.
Okay, I'll work on it.
You're debating about it. Dan, are you on board?
No.
All right, we gotta go.
I don't want to be on camera.
Yeah, you do. You want to walk around with those elf ears on?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. I know you. You probably already have them in that drawer behind you. Don't even fucking play.
He does.
The Hobbit that gets mad and just yells.
Oh my god. Yeah. The frustrated Hobbit.
Elf.
Boom, that's it. Daniel the frustrated Hobbit. Perfect.
There you go.
I like it.
You're that neighbor that nobody fucking likes. That's what it is.
God. That one dude that's like sitting there grumpy with everybody. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Smoking that pipe.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right. Last bit of news before we get into the eSports desk. And we're going to be going, this is like 2 parts of Last of Us, and then we're going to be doing a review for it later on. No DLCs planned for The Last of Us Part 2. Game director Neil Druckmann has confirmed that there's no DLCs coming. That the first game, when they were actually making it, planned on having a season pass and DLCs. This one, they have no plans during the development, so they know it's not coming. Naughty Dog has done DLCs in the past, not only with The Last of Us Part 1, but with Uncharted 4. So, what are you guys' thoughts with this? Do you guys like when they have no more DLCs? Or do you want like a little bit more to finish the story up? Daniel, let's go with you.
Let's see. I'll take this one. They better come out with another one, like a Last of Us Part 3, whatever. Or they better make a DLC, or I really hope Naughty Dog has no luck in any of their future games. I really hope they have no luck in any of their future games. That's all I have to say.
So the story didn't end the right way for Daniel, so he needs a DLC. Oh man, Squeaks, what do you think about this?
I like it though. I like no DLC. You get to tell the complete story that you want within a game, and there's no little, I don't know, buffers after it. And I appreciate that more than anything. Instead of just trying to grab our money.
I like it too for a person that hasn't been in the game yet.
Okay, but then if you know it's a cliffhanger, then you know the third one's coming. Come on now, Last of Us.
Don't worry, I'll let you know what's gonna happen. Don't worry, because you haven't been there.
Okay, so if Last of Us is the fastest selling PS4 game, you're gonna tell me they're not gonna make a number 3? Come on now.
Right now they have.
I would assume I assume that they have to. I'm like, it's just too big of a game.
They have to, but they never planned it. That was the thing. They said that they have no plans.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off.
Not on the docket, so we might get something else in the same universe, but not necessarily from the same characters.
Yeah. Okay.
That seems crazy.
I can't wait to beat it.
Daniel spoiled the end of it for me, and I'm just like, oh, it's sad. I'm like depressed over here about it. Okay,
damn it.
Let's head over to our eSports desk. And I'm putting in that intro music right now. It's all fancy. Here's the eSports desk. Okay, so we did that Twitter poll last week. I just want to remind everybody. We're going to start doing an eSports desk by itself. This one we're just throwing in on this part here. But in the future, over the next month or so, we'll be phasing this in. We're going to do an eSports desk like bi-weekly. It's going to be its own episode where we just bring you guys a ton of eSports news. So that's just a reminder on that. There's one major story I've got. But before we get into that, is there any eSports you guys have been watching lately, Squeaks? Have you been kind of catching up on any eSports right now?
Actually, I haven't. I just know that. I mean, obviously, I'm still kind of paying attention to Overwatch, but I feel like right now we should focus on one story in particular.
Yeah. Daniel, have you been watching anything or not?
Just watch. I've been watching League of Legends on my off days.
How's
Is
that been
that
going?
is that live right now? Is that going on in tournament?
Yeah, it's going on. It
Yeah.
goes on. It starts Saturdays, Sundays, and it's been pretty good. Meta's boring still, and they actually added there's a new broken character that certain people are playing, which is pretty awesome.
New broken character. I like how you just right away qualified it as that. Yeah. For myself, Overwatch, I know that right now they have a tournament going on. I haven't had much time to watch it. I've been just a little bit too busy. So I'm kind of behind on everything. But there is one big story we're going to be talking about. Now we've talked about Method before and how they're really good for the brand of esports, the way that they kind of, bleed into other games and stuff like that. So it's fair to say that we're kind of Method fans. Like I am. I think Daniel, you definitely are, right?
I'm not a Method fan. I'm more of a.
Oh,
Sko
now he's not.
and
Now he's not. Shut
Sea-Doo.
the fuck up. You fucking
Sea-Doo's
Method
awesome.
lover.
I follow
You
Sea-Doo.
are a
Do I
Method
not?
lover. Do not.
Taff, do I not follow Sea-Doo and
You are a big
freaking
Sea-Doo
Sko?
fan. He's a healing shaman, and then you're also a SCO fan. You took a picture of the SCO, and SCO's actually been we'll talk about it here in a bit. So, Methods is a really big company that basically bleeds into all different games that handles them. They started in World of Warcraft as a guild in World of Warcraft, and that's one of the reasons why I've always found them very appealing. They are facing some major fallout because they've mishandled some sexual abuse within their franchise. So, what had happened is they have this healer. His name is Josh. We don't need to go into what a healer is and stuff like that, but just assume it's a player on their team. And he has been... So allegations came out that he has been messaging young women, underage women, sexual messages, and pictures and stuff like that. And then he's also been accused of rape. So, due to kind of covering things up, there's been some mishandling of this. It's really hard to nail down the timeline, but it basically started when a Twitter user, Alex, posted a tweetlong, which I didn't know what that was before this, but it's basically where you could post like a blog post and then have that sent to Twitter. They've been communicating with this twitlonger thing. So if you guys want to read all these terrible details, they are actually on our website. If you guys do want to look into these situations, please be gentle with the victims because they're out there sharing everything on Twitter, which means that they're open to everything too. So just be cool about everything. But yeah, so Alex says that, he's been messaging me with inappropriate messages. I was 16 at the time. And right away, Derry, which is the Method social media manager, jumped in on this and says, I can't believe this is happening. We're gonna figure this out right away. And within an hour, Method terminated Josh's contract. He's done. So he's out. And then, she goes and she, again, says that this doesn't fix the problem and we are very sorry for it. We're gonna see what we can do. But this is just the beginning. So it's this whole freaking mess where one after another, these tweets came out with full long stories of allegations against Josh and other things he did. So we have grooming young women, which is, kind of the first step of pedophilia. We have the messaging young women, and then we have rape. And this is not the first time Josh has been in trouble. So in 2019, Kotaku, which by the way, guys, follow Kotaku, amazing website. Cecily DeSasio, pointed out Josh's disturbing behavior during this thing about how there is a lot of sexual harassment and abuse in esports. But she pointed out Josh's disturbing behavior with a 17-year-old named Caroline. Police investigated that one, and there wasn't enough to prosecute him at the time. So before we go too much farther, I'm going to get you guys' awareness of Josh as a player. Have you guys heard of him? Are you guys aware of him? Daniel, I know you kind of watched the world's first stuff a little bit better than Squeaks, maybe.
I've seen him, especially on the world first runs. There's really not much I know about him. I just know about what's going on right now. I know he's a good healer, and that's why he was on the roster, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then so he's one of those guys that's just he's one of, to me, when you hear other people talk about him, Preach, for example, talking about him, he's he's a weird dude. He's the kind of guy you would expect to be sitting on, as Magold said here, he's the kind of guy you expect to be sitting on the computer all day long. And then he finally leaves for conventions and then comes back. So he's that kind of weird dude that you'd expect, doesn't go outside much. For Asmongold to call somebody weird is something unique.
Wasn't he married though? Or because I remember watching a couple of his streams and I thought he had someone with him, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know if that's his wife or a girlfriend, but because he jokes around that he can't get a girlfriend. He has this real dark humor. When I was researching him, he has this real dark humor where he's like, no woman will love me. And he does it, Hangman like game or whatever, like no one loves him, stuff like that. So he's a real oddball kind of gentleman. Does not represent what your average esports player is like.
Yeah.
So I want to just kind of push that out there.
Yeah.
So that was his first claim back in 2019 through the Kotaku article. It really started this whole police investigation. Once this whole accusation storm was kicking up, Method fans began to claim that Method knew this whole time that Josh was doing these things and just continued to use his services and kind of hide everything, not talk about it, brush it all under the rug to keep him playing because he is a very good healer. He's actually, I think they're one of the best healers. Method responded with a statement. It was a long statement, but basically the main part is, it has been circulating on social media that Method and specifically the guild were internally aware of the extent of Josh's behavior. This is categorically untrue and sickening to read. So that was put out by the Method organization as a whole, not any one particular person. That was such a bad idea because right away we had Rod Breslow, he goes by Slasher, real big esports journalist. You know, if you guys go to like .eSports and stuff like that, he's always a big voice over there. He comes out and says, quote, multiple former Blizzard employees have told me Method's newest statement is a lie, and that members within Method have been aware of Josh's behavior for quite a while.
So where was the Blizzard employees to kind of like put the red flag up on this either, right?
That's there, yeah.
There's so many people in this story that never took any initiative or integrity on anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I want to know how much they knew and if they, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you work within the inner workings of Blizzard, because Blizzard benefits from Method being such a big name, they're always at the tournaments, you know what I'm saying? It's oftentimes Method versus Method because there's so many players in their squad. So Blizzard did kind of, have something to benefit from them being legit. So there's that too. So he says that they knew about his behavior the whole time. Method then began losing players, partners, and sponsors like crazy. Corsair put out a tweet saying that they're ending the relationship. That was a big part of their funding. Now, you mentioned, Squeaks, I think you sent me a message saying somebody else just left.
MSI.
MSI, gaming company, big one. So that's two big sponsors right there that left. Twitch says that they're on the attack. They're going to be shutting down anybody that had anything to do with Josh that knew about the information. So they're doing their own investigation. If anybody had messages back and forth referencing this, anything like that, they're banning all those accounts. So this can really get kind of crazy from Twitch. Now, Twitch is actually the main source of income for Method. They pay Method a yearly amount. Method uses that to pay their players. That's actually kind of, if Twitch completely abandons Method, they literally just can't pay anybody. So that's the biggest part of the money. Now, Wowhead, we all know Wowhead. It's a staple of the World of Warcraft community. It's a source of news and stuff like that. It's ran by Fanbyte. They're also leaving Method behind. They had a lot of these co-partnerships where it's like, the world first race, and they would be pushing it a lot. They're abandoning them now. Some of the biggest streamers out there and casters, which is a big part of it for their Method, stepped out as well, including Sven, Nash, Panda TV, and Preach. Preach, personally, is my favorite of those. You guys, I think Preach is something Squeaks you probably watch, or Dan, you probably are familiar with Squeaks or Preach. Are you guys familiar with any of these guys?
A little bit of Preach, and I know streamers. Cedu, he's leaving too.
Is Cedu leaving? I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, he tweeted that he's gonna be leaving, and he had talked to pretty much Sko about his contract and pretty much ending it, and they said pretty much okay. So he's leaving too.
That's a huge hit for them. I mean, he's the linchpin of some of their teams.
And then I think his girlfriend, Sko's girlfriend's leaving too.
Whoa! Yeah. Oh my God, she's part of his brand. You always see them together on so many things.
Yeah, but she was saying something about she's not happy about the what's been going on, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's totally mishandling. Good on her. That's awesome that she's doing that. That she's standing up for herself and stuff like that, because it's hard to just be like, let me stick in there, because she's so entangled with the leadership, and it's a leadership problem.
But Sko knew it. I mean,
yeah. And did he tell her? So did she know this whole time too?
That's what's kind of like, okay, well,
you'd assume you tell your girlfriend.
Yeah, and he's part owner or part. Sco's part.
He's co-founder.
Right?
He's the co-founder.
Yeah,
With
so it's
Sasha, who's got his own problems right now. We'll go over that a little bit.
Oh, you took a picture with Sko, huh? Damn.
What's that?
Yeah.
I know you're such a Mythic fan, so I didn't know.
Just let's talk about this real quick. So Sko is at fault if he knew about this, and I'm assuming he did. But for a lot of people who just look up Sko on social media, he looks like a D-bag, but he was a pretty nice guy when we met him in real life.
Yeah, he was a cool ass dude.
Yeah. We sat there and actually chatted with him a bit while Method vs. Method. Yeah. So it's unfortunate that he made the wrong moves. Okay, so Preach, one of the biggest names out there, and he's just the nicest guy. He's one of the nicest streamers. He's this excellent caster and everything like that. And he was going to be casting their world first race for, I think it was Ashara. He brought his kids, but he first asked, is Josh's investigation done? Is he found innocent? And at the time, Method told him, he's proven innocent. Everything's fine. This was middle of the investigation. Nothing proven innocent. Preach is bringing his kids near this dude who's messaging young girls, with inappropriate pictures and stuff. That's fucked up. That's a breach of trust that you have with somebody you guys work with so closely. It's just so sad.
Dude, it sounds like there's a lot more with Mythic that could be found out later on after this investigation.
Yes,
if they're doing those little lies, if they're willing to do those little lies to other people, I feel like it's a pretty corrupted organization.
I agree.
Yeah, but honestly, you could kind of think like there's probably other organizations that have the same issue. Like there's also
for sure,
because you want that top player. I mean, he might have a dirty little secret.
That's the sickening thing, though. It's
that's the problem.
For a couple of heals, for some heals in a video game, you're willing to be like, okay, hey, my healer, while he's healing me, he's also fucking taking pictures of his dick and sending it to little girls.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was wrong, but the money they make, that's the thing. They make a lot of money for this.
There's gaming. A level of pressure there, too. So, we're all agreeing, of course, they're fucking wrong, and this is done. Wrong. Method is done.
Yeah.
But there is a pressure there. The reason they're doing this is basically what we're saying, not necessarily justifying it. This is the reason they're doing it, is because the amount of pressure in just being a Mythic Raider, Daniel, you're familiar with this, it's on your mind literally all day, every day. And you have to be the very best you possibly can be, and sometimes that's not good enough. These guys are the highest level of that. They live, eat, and breathe. They play this game for 16 hours a day, then go to bed. So when they find somebody that's an adequate healer, like Josh was for them, and Method is these guys that would always be world first. If they weren't world first, that was the news. And so, every 6 months, whenever a new competition came out, new raid came out, they were always world first. So they had to keep on top of that. They found this healer. So they were so desperate to hold on to their hat or their leadership. They're willing to do this despicable thing. But it makes me think, we have other raid or guilds out there that are in the race. We need to check everybody. We need to not just go off their Method. Let's check everybody. I don't want to throw out names out there, but there's other guilds that are always like second and third. They're also under the same amount of pressure. I think it's best that they at least do internal investigations, kind of make sure that, hey, everybody's on the up and up, right? We don't have to worry about this in the future. What do you guys think about that?
Oh, I definitely, for like an owner or I don't know, whatever, the manager of the team or something like that, be like, hey, since this is in the light now in our, I guess, organization, not our organization, but of the eSports and Mythic rating and whatnot, or Dungeons and all, is everyone that's close to me okay? That's what I think it really is. Because if we were like on this competition level and it was us as a team, I'd come up to us and be like, hey, because of this something crazy happened in the world that we currently enjoy the most with the World of Warcraft, are we all good here?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, say this podcast got so big that we were raking in the dough and stuff like that. Finally taking out IGN, my life goal. So what if we were doing that? We would have to sit down and have a conversation like, look, is there anything that you guys have done wrong that we need to get you out of here now? Generally, we're all friends, so I'm not going to hang out with a person who's like this, like Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we're pretty safe. But these guys have a more working relationship than they do friendship. They do spend immense hours together. But it's kind of one of those things where you guys have to, just like any workplace, you have to make sure you're not working alongside somebody who's a monster. And they were working alongside a guy who's a monster. It's too bad. So we have a ton of players leaving. I'm really surprised by Sea-Doo. Just because he's so big for them. But they've been removing all Method branding from their Twitch profiles and Twitter accounts, and even the stream overlays. They have like the Method chair. Everybody had Method chairs; those are gone. Everybody's leaving. Even Derry, the social media manager that first addressed when the first big one came out, she left the company already. So that's all because of Josh. We also have basically within the same day that this is all stuff from going down in 2 days. In the same day, we have Sasha Steffens, which is the co-founder alongside Sko, who's one of the top dogs over there. He's on administrative leave because of allegations of misconduct throughout the week as well. He was with a pair of women in her name. They were Sweebliss and Anna Fushi. It was at BlizzCon 2015, and they saying that he sexually advanced on them unwantingly. Does that make sense? Yeah. So they're at BlizzCon, and he made approach. I don't know the details exactly, but I think it was something with an elevator. Dana, did you hear more about this? I think you were telling me about some more of this.
Well, she was the warlock, right?
Is that what it was? Okay, so she was on the team.
Yeah, so I think she rented a room with them, and then she was in her room, and then all of a sudden, I guess he barged into her room and started talking to her about something, and then she pretty much something happened. I don't think he did anything, but he started being really inappropriate and saying stuff, and I didn't read everything because I had to go back to work.
Right.
It was with that. It's something at a house. Like they all decided to stay together to, share.
The Josh thing is kind of overshadowing it. And I was researching the Josh thing. Then all of a sudden you're texting me like, "Do you hear about Sasha?" I'm like, "Oh shit!" So it's the house cards is really falling down over there.
It's bad.
Yeah, Stefan, he's denying everything, but they're doing the investigation and he's on suspension. Sko came out with a response saying, "There's no doubt that Sasha acted wrongly in this situation, and I want to be clear that I do not condone his actions. I would also like to say that I have known Sasha since 2007, which is basically when they founded. And outside of this situation, he has never given me a cause to doubt his good character." So they're doing the investigation. We'll see. There needs to be a third-party investigation on this. I believe there is. Yes, there is. So we'll know soon what's going on with these allegations. Following the allegations of misconduct, this is just from the organization. CEO Sasha Steffens has been placed on unpaid administrative leave pending the results of a third-party investigation. So yeah, they're going to bring somebody else in to look into this. This needs to be done. This is just crazy. As much time as you guys spend together, that you guys wouldn't know. Did you guys have a chance to watch the clip I put in Discord?
No, I worked this week.
No, I haven't been on Discord. Yeah.
Oh, it's so upsetting. So
you just texted to me.
It's from 11 months ago. Okay, so it could be working on the past allegations, the Kotaku one from 2019. But these guys keep saying like, "Oh, we didn't know." It was during a raid. Okay, we all know these situations where we're in a raid, 25 people in the chat together. We all have mutes. And when you're going to go to the bathroom or get a beer or on the phone, you mute so nobody hears you. Josh didn't mute. So he's on the phone and you can hear him talking about, blah, 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 allegations, yada, yada. He starts saying things and the rest of the guild on the chat, on the Discord is yelling at him, mute, somebody mute him. They're all trying to shut him up because they're all streaming live. And this is somebody else's stream. It was clipped. I put it on our Discord so you guys can check that out. They all knew that he was talking about allegations that were needing to be shut down. First set of allegations or second, nevertheless, the guild was all aware of the situation and were protecting him, trying to shut him up. Finally, somebody with, an officer basically, muted him through server mute on Discord, protecting him from saying anything too bad. But somebody grabbed it, clipped it from Discord or from the stream, one of those streams, and got it. It's damning evidence. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
I think, honestly, everybody needs to be investigated. I feel like a lot of these people that are leaving Method really quick are just, it's like that guilty as well. Like, oh shit, it's going down, I'm out of here. So you need to pull those people too. I'm curious of what the future holds for each individual of that team. Are they even hireable for any other team? Like if someone from you're running a guild and someone from Method comes up to you, would you even give them a chance? And you just say, "Fuck off! I don't want any of that shit."
I would say no for the most part. But if there was full investigation, again, when you're a Mythic Raider, you work with each other so closely that you basically know everything. Just today, I'm texting with one of my old guildies baby pictures back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know them that close. So it's really hard to say that you wouldn't know this about Josh. Even after that clip, they're like, Josh, you know, they're talking shit about him. It's because, like, oh, you guys had a jovial, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all have had that in the past. I don't know. A lot of the people, like the Method MDI teams and the Method Arena teams, which I think actually would include Sea-Doo, they're starting their own groups right now. They've already announced they're starting their own groups. Do you know if that's what Sea-Doo is doing, Daniel?
Sea-Doo was saying that he's going to look for a team with his group right now. Try to find a team.
So join somebody else. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't think everybody in Method knows about this whole thing.
Right,
I do think everybody that Mythic rated knew. I do agree with that. But like Arena, stuff like that, no. I don't believe they would have known the whole Josh situation because they're not into that. I know Sea-Doo would join their pug raids, but I mean,
that's not his main play style.
Yeah, it wasn't his main thing. He would just get gear so he could do more PvP kind of thing.
The organization is so big as well. They're in other games. They have like little Valorant teams and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of people with the Method branding that are just removing their Method branding just because they don't want to be. But it's actually the World of Warcraft raid, which is what they're most known for. That's the one that they need to be really, really, really investigating and figuring out who knew what when.
It's insane though, just thinking about it. Like this big organization's just done now.
In our circles, if you told me last week Method's going to be demolished next, I would no. That's the biggest name in esports in World of Warcraft. There's no way
that demolished like over a day or two.
Yeah, you know? It was like in 2 days. I was trying to put the articles together while news was coming out. I'm just like, holy cow, give me a sec, guys. Like, there's so many tweets and stuff like that. This big storm coming, and people are jumping on it, and it's just madness.
Do you think they try to make a new group or like Go tries to make his own thing again, or
Go I think is trying to save Method because they do have a couple more sponsors. They have like NordVPN still sponsoring them. There's another one that's real small that's still sponsoring them. I think he tries to save it, but it will be scaled back to a new level. And then there's going to be a ton of new teams that crop up, especially like in arenas and stuff like that, which I'm totally down for because I was never a really big fan of like Method Orange and Method Black and Method Europe and Method. I'm cool with new names. So we'll see how that goes. Following investigations, of course.
I wonder how the fans feel. Like if the Method were to continue in just that name, would there be a lot of boos in the crowd? Kind of like that hate.
Yeah,
they'll probably boo.
Yeah,
I would be. Yeah, I would be booing myself. Because it's. I think so. There's such a bad stigma right now with esports and sexual harassment and stuff like that. That the people that are wanting to do better for the genre in general are extra worried about this kind of thing. So when you have such a big name like Method coming up with this big, they're going to be hammering on them hard. That's why Twitch right away is like, no. And using this storm, this is why, disrespect and stuff like that, they've been swinging that ban hammer left and right on other streamers because of this one. Like it actually sparked something for Twitch where they're going through and cleaning their house up. So it's pretty good. Come follow us on Twitch, guys. We're all good people. We play Satisfactory and some other games. So, yeah. And we'll be playing World of Warcraft come Shadowlands for sure. All right. That's it for the esports desk. We're moving on to the main event, The Last of Us Part 2 review. We're going to go spoiler-free first, and then we're getting into all the spoilers afterwards. So let's start with the spoiler-free. What version first? Is this a good follow-up to the original Last of Us Part 1? Daniel, why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, it is.
That pause and then
I know,
dude. Just doing it on purpose.
He's contemplating, man. It's all the gears are moving quick.
He's just so mad right now. He doesn't want to say anything good about it.
Honestly, it is a good follow-up. I really did enjoy it. It does continue the story. Yeah. Something big has to happen to continue the story, to continue it, to make it big enough to make a full story out of it. Yeah. I feel like if you all play it, you're all going to enjoy it. Most of you guys will enjoy it. Let's just say that. Most of you guys will enjoy it.
Sounds like we're not getting a 10 out of 10 on this one.
Yeah. Squeaks, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's definitely
spoilers.
Yeah, it's definitely a good follow-up for sure. And then what I really like about it too is that we really progress in the life of Ellie and Joel. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't feel like it's cut and paste of where we start and where we left off and then where we start.
Actually progressive.
It's like down the road a little bit, and how they're living now.
Okay, so visually, let's talk about visuals because we get these stills that just look amazing, like they're almost photorealistic, and especially of Ellie, like her, just playing the guitar by the tree base, the trunk. It's these beautiful images. When you're playing, do they feel that rich and in depth? Squeaks, what do you think? Is there that much color in there?
Yeah, definitely. So there's certain areas of the game where all you do is walk slowly through something. So it could be a forest, it could be through a street with some buildings on the sides, and I feel like that's there on purpose to show you how beautiful that we could create this game. So there's
Yeah,
definitely areas like that that show off how well they did with graphics and yeah.
that's good. Daniel, did you notice any excellent soundtracks going on? What was the background music kind of like in this game?
Background music.
I don't think there is very very little.
Very little. It's
Yeah,
just more
Really?
the guitar.
it's really
Like I know they were able to play some songs on there. What was that song
It's
that
a,
shit, I forgot the
it's a
name, but
really quiet and sneaky game. So it really is like just
Mm.
you're hearing the environment basically. It's
yeah,
your
you
soundtrack. You hear
pretty
the
much
waterfalls, uh, the birds in the
people.
sky, stuff like that. People, yeah.
So yeah, so they don't necessarily want to play music because you're supposed to feel alone and in a quiet forest.
You do have a
Instead.
guitar.
Yeah.
Like certain scenes, like they let you play your guitar, but it
Hmm.
tells you which way to go, and then she'll pretty much sing. It's just like certain cutscenes kind of thing.
Okay.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's pretty nice. But like Squeaks is saying, it's mostly like sneaking around or the sounds of guns or footsteps and hearing where they're at or seeing where they're at. That's pretty much all this game is.
Okay, why don't you go into a little more of that? What is the basic gameplay? Like, what are you doing? What's your loops?
Like what is pretty much the story about kind
Not
of
the
thing.
story, not
Nah,
the story, the
the
gameplay.
just
So,
gameplay.
like, is it about sneaking up on people? Can you just go in and fire off your gun and shoot everybody in town?
So like I would like to say it's kind of like Metal Gear Solid and like Splinter Cell. So it's a lot of like sneaking
All stealth.
around. Like you could most of the time you could just sneak past people or you could just assassinate them if you don't want to spend waste your ammo.
Hmm.
Most of the time you just go up behind them, somebody and just shank them or choke them out, whoever you're playing as. Um, yeah, that or you could just go guns a blazing and just start shooting people, but then you run out of ammo. So
What do you do when you run out of ammo? Do you have very good melee combat, or is it pretty dependent on the gun?
you
Yeah,
it's
Acha.
you don't have really melee combat. You get a knife,
Yeah.
or if you're the other girl, you got your fists. But mostly you're gonna want to sneak behind somebody and just like kill them real quick,
Yeah.
so you don't waste all that ammo.
I was doing that a lot at first. I was really playing the game like Assassin's Creed style. But then I was talking to others and talked to how they play. So I was doing a lot more using weapons and crafting mines and bombs and Molotovs. So instead of just you get melee, you can pick up like a bat or a machete or whatever, and you
Hmm.
can use it, and they do wear down after a while. And you can also craft that melee weapon to be a little stronger. Get a little one hitters on everybody. But a lot of the goal is that even though ammo is scarce, there's a lot of crafting material you can gather to create like landmines.
I
Um,
see.
so you can play however you want. So if you want to
Yeah.
go guns blazing, you could go guns blazing. If you want to plant bombs and kind of be sneaky, you could do that as well. Or if you want to play like how I kind of was in the beginning, which was kind of frustrating after a while because I was getting bored with it, that Assassin's
Hmm.
Creed style where you're just kind of sneaking around everywhere and shanking everyone,
Yeah.
that's okay too. But then I really got comfortable with using my silencer gun, bow and arrow, um, kind of mixing it up a lot more. Really neat.
Well, once you unlock the bow and arrow, it pretty much
Yeah.
opens the door for you. Then you could do a lot more. Like you just kill somebody from far away, and then just sneak up behind somebody and just assassinate them real quick, and then it just clears it a lot faster. But it takes you like I don't know what 6 hours in or like 8 hours in to finally get the bow, and
Yeah.
then plus, when you get your silencer for a gun, you only get 3 bullets, and then it breaks, and then you have to find material to make a new silencer because it
Yeah.
uses
Oh, jeez.
a plastic bottle. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so it's a lot of building and stuff like that. And you can play it whatever way you want. I had fun sneaking around killing people,
Does that building kind of slow down the gameplay, or is it actually rewarding to sit there and like upgrade and add features to your weapons and stuff?
I'm gonna say slow down because I feel like this Last of Us, compared to the first one, I really feel like I had to scavenge everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I was just
Yeah.
like and like okay, I know I see a building, the windows are busted. I need to go in there and grab water and cloth and shit like that. But sometimes it's like, oh my god, fuck, I just want to keep going, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Uh,
it does slow you down, especially when you're getting to a point that you have no band-aids and you're just like, shoot, I need to look for something to just heal up a little bit. It
So
does slow you down.
is it less rewarding? Would you take it out of the game?
no, it rewards you fine. Would I take it out of the
Yeah.
game? Yeah, a little bit. I would like to be not as big, but it rewards you because you find like certain magazines that'll give you upgrades on how to like another tree. Like you
I
unlock a
see.
tree to get
Yeah, talent
upgrades.
trees
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, so you unlock there was a hunting magazine, so it
Okay.
learned how to use a rifle better with a scope or some shit. So it rewards you if you do go out there and look for things.
Okay. What features did they add from the first game to the second game that you thought was a good addition? Daniel, why don't you go?
I
Let's
mean,
piece this through.
do they even add anything different? Because like you're still doing the same thing. You're still customizing your gun. You're unlocking your tree. I believe most of the
Any
features.
UI changes?
Actually, fuck no. Did you notice anything different? I didn't. I feel like it was the same exact thing. Where you open your backpack, you craft stuff. That was the same.
Yeah,
To pull out your
that was
weapons were the same.
Wow, that's kind of nice
Uh,
though to be so identifiable. But the first, there's like you were saying, Assassin's Creed, the stealth thing. Every time I
mm,
play a new Assassin's Creed game, I'd have to like, okay, they're doing things this way now, where block works like this
yeah,
now,
yeah.
or oh, this one has this new talent system, or this one has these bases we have to defend. It's nice to have the kind of mix it up, but there's times where I just want to go in and I just want to continue the story. I care more about the story than I do about the gameplay as much. With this game, everybody talks about how great the story is. Do you find yourself caring more about the story or more about the gameplay? Daniel, let's go with you first since you have more experience with the story part.
I cared more about the story. So like,
Okay.
I mean, in the beginning, I was like, "Oh, I gotta enjoy this game," but after like when you're 10 hours in, you're just like, "Man, I just want to play this for the story and just beat it."
Yeah.
And I mean, they delivered. They definitely delivered in this game.
If you were to watch a full walkthrough, would you be satisfied with the story, or would you actually like? I don't know. I got to be there to shoot that gun.
I would have to be there to actually. I
Okay.
would have to play it and do it
Okay.
to feel better.
Did you find yourself caring more about the story or the gameplay there, Squeaks?
Yeah, like I said, it's 100% story. I
Okay.
actually would talk kind of down on the gameplay because at times I was just like, oh my gosh, I want to kind of just go in there guns ablaze. But there was
Yeah.
really never those moments, but you would have to create those moments. But sometimes I wanted to just be like, hey, this is what you have to do. At least where I'm at right now.
Right. So from where you're at right now, can you give us a couple pros and cons, Squeaks, that you'd give for this game?
Gameplay is a little slow
Okay.
to me. I want a little bit more fast paced. And we have some fast paced moments, but there was never, at least for me, and how far I am, a time where I was like, holy shit, like they're all coming at us, we have to shoot, unless it was that scene was made for it.
Right.
Without spoilers, Daniel might know like the truck scene, with Jesse, when you're in the truck and you pretty much have to shoot.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was a lot of fun, even though it's very little to do with gameplay. But it was a little slow sometimes, and sometimes I felt like, okay, fuck, here we go again. There's some tall grass. Let me hide. There's these people patrolling over here. Sometimes I just want to. Some
So
little
quite
quicker
repetitive from
sometimes.
what you so far you've been mentioning the repetitiveness of the game quite often.
There is a
Yeah.
lot of repetitive. And then
Yeah, for sure.
sometimes, honestly, I feel like they just added way too much. It was just like, okay, well, we gotta go to the hospital. Okay, well, hospital is this way. But guess what? It's blocked right here. So you have to go through this building. And oh, wait, you can't go through this building. So you have to go over here. I felt like they added way too much of that. It was just a lot of like
Yeah.
going back, like zigzags.
How do we
throughout
extend the
the whole-
time of the game kind of thing?
Yeah.
Trying hard
honestly,
to
that-
immerse you in this world, maybe if you were to
Like-
look on a good note.
Yeah, you could have probably ended the game in 15 hours. Like, honestly,
Oh, wow.
I would have been cool with it. I wouldn't have been upset at all. I would have been happy.
So let's shout out some pros then, Daniel. Give us a couple pros for this game. Why it's worth going out and spending that $60 right now?
Pros, if you're a big fan of the first one, you get to see it continues. Stories amazing. Let's see. Customizing, actually, I had fun customizing the guns because you get to choose which gun you like to use better. Like more like the bow. I want to make sure my bow is stronger so I can assassinate people, or shotgun, especially when I get caught. I'm just like blowing people up with the shotgun. So that was kind of fun. You get to, like Squeak say, choose the way you want to play. So
Real quick though, Daniel, was that in the first one? I know you get to customize your gun in the first one, but did it have that bench in the first one?
I don't remember.
I'll say I really like the bench. If anything was new, all it is that Ellie finds a bench and you put the gun on it. But the way she customizes it is really like, you want to change the hand grip. Okay, you'll see her unscrew the hand grip. She'll take out the ammo and stuff like that. Really detailed. That's cool, but that's just like a little, I don't know, little applaud. It's nothing game changing or anything. Doesn't do anything for the game.
Okay. Any other additional pros before we give it a grade and then go into the spoiler field?
I'm gonna say, of course, the story. That's all it is. Like I said, this is probably one of the best storytelling games ever created in a video game.
That's a big one. That's good.
But I did not get in my feels like with Ellie's love interest as I did with Ellie and Joel, and that was a downfall.
Okay.
I felt like her and her girlfriend were just. I wasn't connecting with it. I felt like the girlfriend, all she wanted to do was fuck all the time. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah.
But it was like, there's no. When you play the first one, you're like father, daughter, and you see that relationship. And this one is kind of like, okay, we're girlfriends, or I guess they are. I don't know. It's complicated, I guess, after a little bit.
That's what the Facebook officially says on their accounts, like, oh, complicated.
Is it really?
No, I'm joking around.
Okay.
Like they have Facebook in this world. They don't, honestly.
They have Facebook. I thought you were talking like real life Facebook. I was like, oh, great, Facebook gaming. But that connection, it just didn't feel that strong when it comes between Ellie and Joel than it is with Ellie and Dana. Yeah. Dina. Yeah. So that's not there, but I feel like, and then we go back and forth of where like, okay, flashbacks to be like, okay, this is your relationship and how good it was before. So I'm curious, and Daniel probably knows because obviously he beat the game, is that relationship's maybe not that strong, and why I don't feel the connection with him.
Let's not go any farther with the story though. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Because Daniel will spoil for us at the end.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear Daniel talk about it.
Well, I just want to say, honestly, like throughout the whole story, she doesn't just want to fuck. Just
bro, she was like throwing up and be like, "Oh, do I look hot?" Like, nah, bitch, you're throwing up. And she was like, "Oh, you should have kissed me then." It's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
That was like again. There's like maybe 3 parts in the whole story.
Bro, 3 parts, and then Jesse comes back.
Then like 20 hours lader, there's another part.
Okay.
And she's like, "Get off me."
Okay, but spoiler. But ever since Jesse came back in the picture is when it's like, okay, now it's not being like that. So now I'm like, oh fuck, she's gonna have feelings for that guy again. I don't know. I'm just trying to whatever. Just throwing things out there.
All right, let's go ahead and get our spoiler-free grades here. Daniel, what would you grade this thing? We got A's, B's. What are you looking at, man? C's, D's?
A's, B's, or C's? I would say a good B.
Really? Okay. And just no plus or minus? Because you were very excited about this game. That's why I'm kind of surprised that it's not the A level for you, but B plus. You throw it B plus? Okay. What do you think, Speaks? What do you?
I'm a solid just B. Just B.
Just a solid B. Okay.
Gameplay is kind of, I get bored with it sometimes, but the story is just so amazing. And that's what keeps me in it.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
speaking of the story,
if I do
spoil the shit out of it. Sorry.
Okay, if I do it, story 10 out of 10 and gameplay 8 out of 10. That's what brings me down there to like 8, really. Yeah, or B. Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. Okay, now we're gonna go into spoilers now. So if you guys are listening and you're like, "Oh no, I'm not there yet," stop, because Daniel's about to spill it all, and Squeaks is gonna have to just enjoy.
I kind of want to sit in on this though.
Okay, good. You're in.
Daniel.
All right, so,
Oh God. Oh God.
Daniel, what I want you to do is try to focus it down to like the 5 major plot points. You know what I'm saying? So give us kind of a rundown of the game story wise, the major plot points that happens. Go for it, man. What you told me is already exciting, so I'm excited to hear it again.
Logging off right now.
So
go for it, Daniel.
Pretty much, Abby. She is. The story is so complicated because it pretty
just
much
drop
like,
a bomb on me right now. Daniel just dropped the bomb on me.
It questions your main characters on who's good, who's evil, kind of thing, and it's like, are they really evil or are they just trying to get a little revenge for what happened? But pretty much what happens is Abby's parents or dad worked for the Fireflies. He was the main doctor for the Fireflies, and Joel was taking Ellie to the Fireflies to get the cure out. And then Joel finds out, she's got to die for it. So he murders everybody. So in this story, Abby, dad's dead, and she wants revenge. So she finally gets her revenge off Joel. Kills him in front of Ellie. And pretty much you go back to Ellie, and Ellie wants revenge. And Tommy, the younger brother of Joel, wants revenge too. So she sets off with Dina to go get their revenge against Abby, and they travel to Seattle.
So you're questioning whether or not the revenge is justified the whole time, or if it's just straight up revenge. It needs to be.
Yeah, it's just straight revenge. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because it gets like really, the whole story gets crazy. Because then you start seeing like Ellie's just killing all these members of this group. Oh, by the way, when the Fireflies got murdered, the people that lived, they separated in 2 different tribes. I think it's 2 or 3. One of them was like
wolves.
Yeah, the wolves, and then the other one were like the clan
Scars.
Yeah, the Scars, but they're like old villager kind of like lanterns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan's The Village. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. So pretty much they end up.
That is.
So Abby joined the wolves, and what I was saying is, so you're going to Seattle to pretty much find every member and kill them all to get your revenge. And while you're doing it, you're just murdering so many people. At one point, you even murder a girl that has a baby, and then she starts becoming like.
Is it Dina?
So
that's how much I care about her. I can't even
Is this Ellie that's like losing control? Yeah,
this is Ellie. So Ellie's just losing control throughout the story. So you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And pretty much you're going buildings to buildings to find, you have a map, and you're finding all these certain points, and you're just killing everybody that was there when Joel died.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then
spoiler for the first game. Shit, no, just kidding.
Yeah. Well, this
yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just joking.
So, so once you start killing all these members, you get to this theater system, theater, and then that's your hideout that you and Dina. Oh, by the way, I gotta spoil it for you.
No, spoil it. He's here, man. You're gonna spoil everything.
I'm already said.
There you go.
Dina's pregnant. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Oh, you did? Okay. So Dina's pregnant, so she has to stay at the theater.
But you know what? That's a shitty thing, though. I'm going to back up at what you said about Joel. They killed off Joel so fucking early, and that's what pissed me off, because they should have killed him mid-game. Let me build that relationship. Remember what I forgot. I mean, take me back to what I remember.
That would have been a good move, yeah.
And then
respark that kind of feelings you had from the first game, and then when you lose them, that's more important.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, I thought the same thing. A lot of people were super upset that Joel died right away, because
me too.
He was the main character. Like, that's why everybody played him. It wasn't because of Ellie. It was because of Joel and how he was just a badass, right?
Yeah.
But
Joel bias.
throughout this whole game, you start getting memories of like when she was younger, and he took her to a music,
Tear jerkers.
Yeah, you seen it?
Some of
the
them, yeah.
amusement park when she put on the astronaut suit when the
the museum.
Yeah, the museum. Like just those flashbacks were so beautiful.
I'm getting goosebumps right now.
It was just so
That's why
emotional.
I don't give a fuck about Ellie and her girlfriend. Like,
and then I mean, they did a good job on bringing back flashbacks and doing all this stuff. But then you also find out that Ellie was a piece of shit to Joel and didn't want to talk to him because how he kept that whole thing a secret and the Fireflies, and she didn't die for the cure. And he's like, and you pretty much find out that he's like, I would do it again if I had to. Like,
yeah.
Because
he's still Joel. He's an awesome guy.
Yeah, he's
to do what he thinks is right.
So
what's right is, I don't even think so. What's right is that you give Ellie the Fireflies, they make the cure, but it'll take her life. And in the world, that's right. But he was thinking selfish of himself because he's like, oh no, that's like a daughter to me. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's hard to go off that. Would I have done the same thing? Probably. I would have done the same thing.
It's tough, yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so the story just goes on. You're starting to murder all these people. Then you get to this museum or this theater, and Abby's there, and she's about to kill Ellie. Theater? Yeah, at the theater. And then Ellie's about to...
Oh, God.
Ellie's about to get shot. And then...
Squeaks is squirming for those who are just listening to the podcast.
And then, anyways,
it's like, I don't want to hear it, but I want to.
Stops there, and you play as Abby. And you play... So, whatever Ellie was doing, you get to play as Abby, whatever she was doing. At that time, you were playing Ellie. So you're playing through Abby's story, and then you start actually getting attached to Abby because she starts becoming kind of good and helping these two little scars. Remember, I hate ruining this shit. Squeaky, I'm sorry.
He had time. He had plenty of time to play it. Ruin it. This is Independence.
Well, anyways, you start falling in. You start liking Abby. That's the thing. You start liking Abby. I actually liked Abby, and I started saying, well, I kind of see why she killed Joel. I mean, he did kill the dad. So it's like, I understand that.
It's just a whole story of revenge, really.
It's just all about revenge. And I mean, you could be going too far. And I think Ellie went way too far, just killing every single person. But anyways, you're going through Abby's storyline. And then once you get, I think, past Seattle day 2 or 3 or whatever, it pretty much goes back to the theater. And then you're Abby and you're fighting Ellie. And then, yeah.
So why don't you get, so there was one thing that I think a lot of listeners are going to agree with you, those who've played the game, where there's basically 2 ending points. Can you kind of explain those to us and what your theory is, or why you think this is wrong?
So after the whole theater fight, you play Ellie again, and pretty much Abby lets you go. And she's like, hey, I don't want to see you again, or I'll kill you, kind of thing. And Ellie ends up, it's like 8 months later when the baby's born from Dina. I think it's 8 months. I don't even know. Didn't really say how many months, but the baby's already born. She's at a house. Their house. It's like a little farm. She has sheep and everything.
They really do that. It was Ellie and
Dina
are taking care of the baby, whatever.
Yeah. So
I was going way south. I was going way south with it.
Yeah, watch what happens.
I was hoping that Dina would betray Ellie and would be like, what, you're immune to this? And then it would have caused like, holy shit, like my girlfriend turned me in a way. I was hoping
2 hours in she knew about what happened.
I know. I was hoping I was hoping that she'd be like, holy, what do you mean? Like, you're immune to this? Like, you are a cure. I was kind of hoping that would happen.
Yeah. Well, anyways, they're at a farm, they're happy, and then like it would have been the perfect ending right there. Like you could have just left it as she's still happy, she gets Dina, kid, little farm, and then ended it there. Would have been perfect ending. I wouldn't have been so pissed off. But then they added another 3 hours to the game, and it's like, oh, Tommy's back, and then Tommy's like, hey, I found Abby, let's go murder her. And then she starts having flashbacks of Joel dying, Ellie, and then she has to go hunt.
Get that revenge mode going.
Yep. So she tells Dina, I gotta go. This is so
Red Dead Redemption, by the way. Red Dead does this for both their games, where it's like you think you're done, and it's like you got 3 or 4 more hours of gameplay to go, and you're just like, why didn't you end it perfectly over there? I don't want to see the sad parts, the sadder parts.
So pretty much, Dina's like, if you go, I'm not gonna be here anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they should have just ended the game right there. But
could you see, like, if they let the player, because I'm assuming the reason they didn't do this is because they're gonna have a third one, but would it have been better for players to have their own agency to choose whether they choose revenge or love?
It would have been I think it would have been an awesome idea. But
yeah, I think they really want to get one direct story across to everyone.
No, but the thing, what I'm saying is, like, it would have been a perfect ending. She would have had the girl. It would have been a happy ending. But then they added these 3 hours. So then Dina tells her, you leave, I'm gone. So pretty much Ellie's like, I'm going to kill him. Kill her. So she goes out.
Fuck you and the baby. And that's what she said.
So she goes out to try to kill Abby. And by the end of the whole thing,
oh god, you're like, my heart's pounding right now because I'm like, are you gonna fucking say the end or not?
You get to the beach, you save Abby because she was captured. She was tied up in the beach, and she was out. She was gonna die. You save her. Then she's like, I can't let you go. And then there's a major fight scene. Ellie loses 2 fingers, so she struggles to play fucking the guitar.
Oh my god, those are Dina's favorite fingers. Fuck.
And then she's not happy because guess what? She let Abby live, and then she goes back to the house at the very end of the show, and Dina's not there, and she tries to play the guitar, and she has the missing fingers, and that's how it ends. And she walks away from the house, and that's the ending. That's the fucking ending to this fucking game,
and that's why it's out today. Dude, first off, I'm screen grabbing the moment while Daniel's explaining, me and Squeaks are both like intently listening to story time. Like, it's such a good story.
I skipped a lot of this shit. I just had to, but
it's just it's such a big story. But man, it sucks that ending, man.
So yeah, hey Squeaks, when you get to the house part, like you're with Dina and shit, just cherish that moment.
No, because that's not what I wanted. That's
not going to be the ending.
Just turn the PS4 off.
That's actually the ending that you're telling me that they're separated is it was kind of half of what I wanted. I kind of wanted some betrayal. But no,
Why?
I'm glad. Because I was really hoping that when you had the first encounter with Dina and Ellie, and where Dina finds out that Ellie's immune to it all, I was really hoping she'd be like, hold on, what the fuck? Like, you don't, get infected by this? That she would start to think that maybe, like, hold on, your blood or something could kind of be a cure, kind of like what the Fireflies wanted, that she would reinvent that process. That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a lot deeper than just be like, let's live on a farm.
Okay, so I understand that. Like, think of Walking Dead right now, too. Like, there's a lot of sick fucks in America. Do they really deserve the cure? Do they? Especially those that are murdering everybody.
Yeah, but at least,
I do not trust Daniel the post-apocalypse now. I'm officially saying that. I'm on the record.
Just saying, if it's an Ellie or the cure, take an Ellie. Just saying.
Squeaks over here on a Steve Wilkos show where he wants them to fight it out.
Honestly, Steve Wilkos in hell.
People hated the game multiple reasons because Ellie was gay and Joel was gay.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
That was honestly the reason, and
it's such a stupid reason to hate
Joel
the game.
Dying,
hate the game because it's bad gameplay or story. Like, come on now, guys.
Yeah, Joel dying was really disappointing. I figured he would have died not right in the beginning, but something big had to happen. But ruining the ending, they should have just had it at the house, ended it.
That's so weird. That's the ending though. Like,
she could have had flashbacks of like the whole thing, and then boom, end. Perfect. Happy. She's a little miserable.
That's fucking lame.
She never killed Abby. But guess what? A new one could come up. We're left like, at least she's still happy. Now I'm left crushed and just thinking, wow, Ellie's kind of a crazy bitch because she just murdered so many people.
She's on the dark side now.
Yeah, now
she's Darth Ellie.
Dark. Yeah, so now it's like, fuck. And then, like, the way the story was going, it's just, like, mix of everything. It's just, like, I don't know.
Do you feel like while you're playing, you're emotionally involved in the future? Like, does it actually grab your emotions?
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. That's why I want to break my PlayStation. But the story was so good, but I think they should have really done something better, or they should
but
really come out.
you wanted this cute ending and shit, and whatever. That's weak. So
No,
basically, what I feel like is like the ending basically is like the end of Godfather. Like nobody wins because it's
I know,
all
but
in this fucked up world.
she like
Um,
you understand what I'm saying, Taff,
there
right?
is
She still would have never ended.
there's
It would,
never a win situation for revenge. Is basically what it sounds like.
yeah. So yeah, I agree with that, but she still didn't kill Abby at that point. So
Oh
why not
yeah,
just end it there? So she still didn't get her full revenge. She just killed just extra characters that didn't really want to kill her. Joel.
Yeah,
Those characters really didn't want to partake in that. They said that they did, but they really didn't want to kill him.
Yeah.
And then she still lived at that point. That's why I'm saying, like,
why
they
did
coulda
she
ended
free
it.
her? Why do you think, or what was it that made her free Abby
I
instead of
don't know.
killing
She
her?
felt bad for her at that point because she killed all these people.
So
And especially
Jesse comes up to you and says that, hey, I know where Abby's at. Let's kill her. And you're like, okay, cool, let's go.
Tommy.
Oh, Tommy does. Okay.
Yeah.
Goes and let's kill her. I was like, okay, cool, let's go. And then you don't kill her. So then you go
Yes.
back home, and
With
now you
missing
can't
fingers.
even fucking play the guitar.
Well,
I mean,
but what
she
Daniel's saying
still-
is if she didn't go, it would show growth that she's grown past revenge.
Yes.
Instead, she falls for it again, and it's just repeating of bad. It's like when you're watching Mad Men, and you're like, please don't cheat on your wife this time. And he does. It's that same thing, Breaking Bad. Like, come on, dude, just work on the family. Don't make more meth. And he makes more meth. And so it's that same thing that we see more and more in current dramas where you just, please don't fall in that bad habit. And they do it. It breaks your heart, but you can't wait for the next one. You know, it sucks, but.
So do you think, so obviously then she went there and kind of cured herself from it, revenge all the time.
No, I mean,
In a
No,
way, right?
honestly,
She was able to let go. She was able to let go. She didn't kill her.
No, she's not able to because she's still upset. She's still upset.
Well, she could be
And
still
then-
upset, but I feel like that she broke the chain now because she was able to let go of that.
I think more. I don't. I mean, that's possible, but I think her final kill, the main one that kind of upset her, was when she was like killing the baby. She accidentally killed the baby too. So it's like
Jesus.
so because like there was a girl that was pregnant at the time, so she didn't realize she was pregnant and she killed her. So
Yeah.
that kind of made her upset, and then there's so many possibilities in the story, but it kind of upset me.
Yeah, it's
One
kind of
thing that
bullshit.
really-
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's kind of bullshit that you have multiple guitar scenes that you'll listen to a song for like 2 minutes, and now you're saying I can't fucking all that learning of the guitar, and now I can't play it. Now I can't play it. Now I can't play. Yeah, right.
Well, what else upsets me too is like at the very end, there's like a scene that you're talking to Joel and stuff, and pretty much it's the
Tearjerker.
whole fight, huh?
The fight where at the party.
Yeah, at the party, and then she like she goes up to Joel and she's like, pretty much is like, she wants to try to get back together, like be together again, like be a family, and like kind of forgive him. And then at that point, you just realize you can't, because right after that he dies, and it's kind of like
Yeah, but what was
sad.
Ellie's last word? Wasn't
This
Ellie's
is
last
depressing.
words the fight?
Such a good story.
What?
Wasn't Ellie's last words to Joel like the fight? Or no?
No. So
Wasn't.
after the fight, she actually goes to the house and be like, "Hey, I could have took care of myself." This is very ending.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I know, but I felt like it was wrong," because he was like pretty much shaming her for being gay, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, "I pretty much want to make amends, kind of thing. I want to kind of forgive you." And it was just like kind of after that, it's like Joel dies, so they were never able to forgive each other.
So
Or
it
she was
still
never
ended
able-
like on a bad note.
So I think that was a big thing too for revenge. Is like she never got to forgive him in the way.
You brought up the fact that earlier, and then you bring it up again. That Ellie is gay. Now they didn't mention that in the first game, right? That's a new revelation for this game,
More
right?
in the DLC, you find out, right?
Okay.
Squeaks? The
you know, I
DLC.
didn't play the DLC. I didn't want to buy it. Oh, I didn't give a shit about buying it. Yeah.
Somebody was telling me on the DLC, you kind of find out that
Your little
Ellie's
hint.
kind of liking this other girl.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play it, but that's what somebody was telling me.
So
Because
the
that's all
game
I can-
currently is being reviewed bombed because of that.
Yeah.
People are review bombing because oh, he's gay, so let's review bomb it, and we have nothing better to do with our days. So, you guys hear the non-biased review right here? We got a B and a B plus.
I give it a B only because of the ending, honestly.
If it was like Happy Go Lucky, we're living now, Itchy Rose, it would be an A.
Oh, definitely. If it was just the house like that, they took out the 3 hours. A.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Not A plus, but an A.
Fucking
Red Dead Redemption does that same thing. It's so frustrating. I love Red Dead Redemption. Number 2, I think, is one of the best games ever made. But like in the first one, spoilers for these real quick. At the first one, you get to a point where like I'm back at the house. I got my family back. The FBI's off my back, and then it's like, oh no, you have more to play. So then you're just kind of working on the farm, and then fast forward 3 hours of just working on the farm, and you die to a mass of bullets coming to you because the FBI comes in and finishes you off. And then in the second one, it finishes with a major death. Yeah.
Don't forget the first one, you end up playing with the son. Remember?
You do, yeah. That's how you continue doing. You play as the son, and then in the second one, you're playing, and then there's a major death, and then you go to John Marston. You're playing as John Marston the whole time, and it's just like that 3 more hours of kind of setting up the beginning of the other game, and it's I argue with that too. Like, is this game better if they didn't add those 3 more hours?
Yeah,
it's a tough one. It's such good finishes, and then they're like a little bit more. I don't know. I kind of argue that they don't need them.
Yeah, they really shouldn't have added it. It would have been a really good game. People that are hating the game too. One big thing people were hating the game is because they got leaked. The whole story got leaked before the game came out. So people were bombing on it and talking massive crap about the game. And it's like, okay, if you're a true fan of this game, you wouldn't have read those spoilers the whole entire time. You would have waited.
That's what I did. What? I waited, but I was really, really tempted to be like, fuck it, I'm going to read these spoilers.
No, I was never tempted because I couldn't wait to actually see the game. This beautiful game with a beautiful story that I actually loved. Like when somebody tells me, what favorite PlayStation 3 game did you love playing? Last of Us 1.
Yeah.
That story got you. And that's why I was hoping this one is. And this one is. Honestly, it is. I mean, the game was so beautifully done. Just
100%, yeah. And the reason I give it a B is because besides the gameplay, is just my connection was not as I felt it with Joel and Ellie. But I like how we revisited memories of Joel and Ellie, and that's what really connected it. I just really...
Those were amazing.
Yeah.
And very touching. You just felt so
sad. For sure.
It was just such a good game.
All right, guys. This is probably our longest recording ever. We're actually about to hit 2 hours. It doesn't feel like we've been recording for 2 hours, but we have been. So we're going to call it here, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We're going to be doing the Audible next week, and I'll pick the first book. What we're going to do for that is, we pick a book, you guys listen to it, sign up for Audible. We get a little bit of cheddar every time you start a new trial, so just throw that out there. And we appreciate it. It pays for the service. So check that out next week, guys. Hope you all have a wonderful week. We have one more episode that's The Gathered Gamers, where Squeaks and I are going to debate PS5 versus Xbox. And then I'm going to let the fans vote for mine. I know you're not on board, but the fans are going to vote for what system I buy first. But that's what's going to be going on. So we'll talk to you guys later. You all have a wonderful week. Bye.
Bye.